The MCU has brought us our fair share of on-screen romances and love interests. However, whether it be for legal reasons or simply because Marvel Studios couldn't make it happen, there are a few that we probably won't get to see. Here are a few comic book romances we more than likely will never see hit the big screen. Peter Quill and Kitty Pryde. Chris Pratt, known as Peter Quill in the MCU, has racked up plenty of screen time in the franchise. He built up some romance with co-star Zoe Saldana's Gamora when he was presented in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. This wasn't his only love interest in the comics, though. He also had pretty strong feelings for Kitty from the X-Men. In The Trial of Jean Grey, sparks flew when both of them met, and Peter actually ended up proposing to her. Unfortunately for Quill, the relationship met its end in Civil War II. Scarlet Witch and Brother Voodoo. The Scarlet Witch and Vision finally made their return in the Disney Plus hit WandaVision, and along with a few surprise cameos from the comics and the X-Men franchise, we got to see Wanda and Vision start a family.
You will be my favorite twin.
Oh, come on now, darling, you know we love them both equally.
Well, don't tell him that.
But sadly, in the end, both Wanda and Vision had to part ways. Some members of the Avengers were not very tolerant of Wanda in the Uncanny Avengers arc after she became the Scarlet Witch. She does, however, gain the support of Brother Voodoo. Both of them soon became a couple after the continuous amount of flirting, and now that Vision is currently out of the picture, this could be the right time to bring forth a new love interest. Quicksilver and Crystal. It wasn't the best watching Quicksilver appear for just a bit prior to hitting the bucket in Age of Ultron, and there have been quite a few theories and fan discussions about what Evan Peters' Quicksilver means for the MCU. While his on-screen version might be a mix of confusion, his comic book counterpart is alive and well. Pietro suffers quite a bit of injuries in a fight and ends up in the hands of the Inhuman, Crystal, for medical treatment, eventually leading to them falling in love with each other and getting married. Their relationship didn't last though, and eventually fell off. T'Challa and Storm. With Chadwick Boseman's tragic death in 2020, significant changes are in progress within the MCU, particularly with regards to the Black Panther sequel and Ryan Coogler's forthcoming Wakanda show on Disney+. There's an expectation that Shuri would pick up the mantle of the Black Panther. In the Marvel Comics, however, there's a storyline where T'Challa lives on and falls in love with the X-Men's Storm, the love of his life. Gamora and Tony Stark. Yes, this is a weird one. There was never an opportunity for Gamora and Tony Stark to spark a romantic relationship in the MCU. Gamora was already with Star-Lord and Tony with Pepper Potts, and as far as we can tell, they never had any love interest on the big screen as they did in the comics. It all came to be when Tony was hanging out with the Guardians. One moment Gamora is giving Tony pointers on impressing women, the next they're in bed.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
Black Widow and the Winter Soldier. Aside from her crush on Bruce Banner and the kiss she shared with Captain America, we haven't seen a lot of Natasha Romanoff's love life. Luckily, the comics offer a little more insight into this S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, particularly when we talk about her strengths and power. As only fans of the comics know, Natasha received a Soviet version of the Super Soldier Serum. During those events, she meets Bucky Barnes while he is still the Winter Soldier, and they form a romance. This will probably never happen now, seeing as Natasha is dead, but anything is possible with a little time travel. Black Widow and Hawkeye. Black Widow and Hawkeye are shown to have a very close relationship throughout the MCU, especially in the Endgame scene in which they fought each other for the right to die. Natasha also shows a lot of thanks to Bruce for having saved Clint's life in Age of Ultron. When it comes to the comics, the relationship between these two is not as simple as you might think, as the two hook up on occasion. However, they have come to realize that they are better off as friends rather than lovers, deciding to instead keep it professional.
We're still friends, right?
Depends on how hard you hit me.
Like what you saw? Check out this video here. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss another video here on Mostly Everything.